Well, this morning is a good day for just rambling around.
Yeah, we're heading over to Roadmaster International Headquarters in Vancouver, Washington. We're going to go over there and check out the equipment, and we're going to have some equipment installed. We're going to have the power steering stabilizer installed. Also, we're going to talk about what we've already had installed, which is a sway bar and a tow setup for the Jeep. But they handle a lot of manufacturing of towing products and also suspension and stabilizers for various rigs. So we're excited to check this out.
When we first heard about them on YouTube a few years ago when we were getting our RV, we knew that that's who we wanted to go to hook up our Nighthawk to tow the Jeep behind the motorhome. And so a year later, we had them put our sway bar in, our rear sway bar in. This year, we got a hold of them, and they are gonna put in our steering stabilizer today. And that's really nice. We're gonna go more into it later today.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the trip. It's gonna be a little field trip here, going over to Vancouver to check out the Roadmaster International Headquarters. This is the birthplace of all things Roadmaster, a genuine American manufacturing company.
Yeah, they have like 250 employees, and they create it, they install it, they have everything there to build.
They fabricate it all, they cut it out of steel, they bend it out of steel, and put it right on your rig.
Yeah, so I got a hold of them. They said to come on in and we could tour the place a little bit and film a little bit what they're doing today, especially since we've had 2 years of success with them. So we're heading over to Roadmaster in Vancouver, Washington.
Yep, let's get over to Roadmaster and check it out.
Roadmaster was founded in 1970 by Jerry Edwards, originally starting out as two companies, Ventro RV and Repair and Roadmaster Distributing Company, selling awnings in Idaho, Oregon, and Washington. In 1982, Jerry purchased a patent for a design of a tow bar and grew the company into what we're about to see today. When we got to Roadmaster, Eric met us at the door to start our tour. The very first thing that was apparent was that Roadmaster is a true manufacturer. They take the raw steel and turn it into the product ready to use. From the raw steel, aluminum, and brass, they cut, bend, and shape into all things Roadmaster. This machine is cutting out parts from sheets of steel. Sheet metal is loaded into the hopper and fed right into the machine. The computer sorts out the most efficient pattern to minimize the waste, and then the laser cuts them out. Over here, sway bars, like the one we have on the rear of our rig, are being made. A current of electricity is put through each rod and shaped into what you see before you. In this area here, parts are getting ready to be powder coated and painted. Here Eric is showing us the sway bars passing through sensors on the way to the painting booth. Right next to the paint booth is the assembly area for the tow bars. The tow bar being assembled here today is the Sterling All-Terrain. This differs from our Nighthawk Tow Bar in that it's a little shorter and does not have the illumination on the sides. Past the tow bar assembling area, Eric shows us where all the safety chains and cables are being manufactured for all the towing products. Continuing upstairs, Eric shows us more manufacturing departments and as well as packaging. In this area, the Invisibrake is being assembled. We have one installed in our Jeep for the tow setup. To finish up our tour, Eric shows us the manufacturing of the tow bar covers, once again showcasing the in-house craftsmanship that many companies simply don't have.
So we just finished the tour, and I have to say, that tour was way better than I even expected it to be. Eric was amazing. He took us all over the entire headquarters, showed us how everything was made, everything. I mean, I didn't know that they sewed everything. They sewed the Roadmaster.
Yeah, the covers to the tow bar setup, everything. The only thing they don't do is smelt their own ore.
So much going on there. There were so many employees busy, and watching them weld, watching them paint, watching them everything go through. We got to see everything that we've already have. Like we have the, is it called the Invisibrake, or what is it called?
The Invisibrake, yeah, we saw that manufactured. We saw everything down to all the little cables. It was true American manufacturing at its best. It's an impressive setup from everything that comes in to the final product that goes out.
It was just a great tour. Eric was wonderful at giving us that tour. I just can't believe it, and he explained a lot. Unfortunately, because of all the work going on, there's a lot of noise in there, so I don't know if we're going to be able to capture everything that he explained to us, but we're still just going to show you what the headquarters look like and let you know how everything has been working out for us.
All right, so now we're going to kill a little bit of time, and can't wait to pick it up. See how it turns out.
Thank you. Yep.
My wrench. You can mount it over there to your U-bolts. There's a bracket we use, and we take the U-bolts off, we put that plate up there, and then we'll through that bolt in there, bolt this guy on. It'll give us our length here, and then we get this all set up, bolt that into it, and then it's all hanging out here, and then we tighten these. The last thing is tightening these nuts right here.
Oh, okay.
So if I have my wrench, I could take this and I could crack it loose, and it would come towards the arm here, and then this I could actually twist. So I could twist this
and that makes
either clockwise, exactly, because it's threaded right here. If you see right here, it's threads. So I'm twisting this in or out of this. So that's how you make your adjustments. You'll loosen this guy and then turn this, either push it more this way, so I'd want to go clockwise to thread it in, and come closer, and then I tighten that jam nut. It's essentially a jam nut. And then I'll get up in the coach again, drive, and see if it's corrected or still kind of pulling a certain way. I had to make quite a bit of adjustments. I made like 7 adjustments, but I finally got it honed in.
So Kylie installed this, and Kylie, will you mention what the benefits are to having a stabilizer put in, like having the steering stabilizer put in?
Yeah, so it'll keep your coach a little straighter on the road, and as you turn, it walks back to the center, and that's why it's called the exact center. Because essentially, me putting that on, it's going to make your coach always want to stay straight now. So now you'll feel the difference too when you start turning left or right. You're going to feel like the wheel has a little bit more resistance to it.
Oh,
you won't want to go.
I can't wait to drive
that thing
it.
is instantly fine.
Because we go down the freeway and he's going like this though a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
And even with this, I don't think this is going to get rid of that completely, but it does eliminate a lot of that.
I'm sure it would.
play.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect it
and
to be
so sometimes
gone
it'll still,
completely.
wander on the road. Like I was saying earlier, the road will actually kind of, pull you a certain way, and that's why I have to go on different roads to make sure it's not the actual road.
Sure.
One of the scariest things that I always heard about when wanting to get this rig was people were talking about if there was a flat tire, all of a sudden, you get a flat tire.
Or you get a blowout or
the
something.
blowout, yes, that is another
This
huge
is supposed to
thing.
really help.
Yes.
If you get a blowout, you're going to be able to handle it a little bit better, right?
Yes, better, yeah. You'll still feel the blowout, obviously, in the end.
Yeah.
It's full.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You would hope that it would help you keep control a little bit.
Right, yeah.
Well, you give you a fighting chance at least.
Yeah. Well, we
then-
appreciate you putting this in. All right, so we've been driving this motorhome now for a couple different trips since we had the steering stabilizer put in at Roadmaster. How has it been working for you, Ron?
Well, it's already created bad habits, and I'll tell you why. Because normally when I was driving, I'd be like this. I'd have a death grip on the wheel, and now, look at this. It's a true center because it always wants to stay in a straight line, for the most part, depending upon the road conditions, of course. But it's what an easy drive now. I can just cruise on down the road. Granted, yeah, you're still going to have conditions that are going to warrant holding on with both hands, and you should always hold on with both hands. Hands on the 10 and 2, in accordance with state laws and practical guidelines, of course. But at any rate, it was a solid move on our part getting this thing, and I can't wait to take it for an extended trip like we are going to be going down to Tahoe. So the little trip that we did have going to the coast back and forth, it made a noticeable difference. Very happy with the outcome, and it's probably one of the best upgrades that we've had so far on the motorhome. So.
Yeah, so the steering stabilizer was a wonderful move. Getting the Nighthawk. The Nighthawk is so easy for Ron to do, but for myself to do. I can hook and unhook the RV and the Jeep so quickly and easily. So the Nighthawk was a great move. The steering stabilizer was a good move. We got the rear, what did we get?
We had a sway bar.
We got the rear sway bar put in. As soon as we got the rear sway bar put in last summer, we noticed right away when we were going on the freeway at 60, 65 miles per hour and a big rig truck would come through, we right away could tell that he didn't have to hold on tightly to the wheel. He could tell a difference right away.
Yeah, this is just it's a bare bones F53 chassis. They're not gonna beef it up. It's gonna be the bare minimum, when it comes to that chassis. So anything that you can do to improve it is always a benefit, considering the safety and also driving conditions.
what's fantastic about Roadmaster is they're always working on new things. They're always coming up with new stuff. And something that they told us about that we're thinking about checking into, and if we don't get that this summer, we're probably gonna get it next summer, is you can get it now hooked up to where if you are in a situation and you have to back up your RV with your Jeep hooked up to it, you can do it. They have something to help you so you can do that now. And we already talked to one gentleman who had that done, and he is so glad he had it done. So that might be something we're thinking about getting done. And the other thing is maybe getting the front sway bar done. But the steering stabilizer has worked out so well, we may not need that front sway bar anymore. We're not sure, but it's always helpful.
There's also talk about sumo springs. I know one gentleman we spoke with there, he said he asked if we had sumo springs, and so I really don't know what they are, and I think we'll look into that as well. Hopefully those are available for the F53 chassis. You know, give us a little more of a comfortable ride, rather than you could probably hear the noise in the back. Everything just shuddering and shimmying and shaking.
So thanks for rambling with us once again. Please hit like, hit subscribe, and you know, we hope you enjoyed the tour of Roadmaster, and you look them up. We'll have all the links below so you can look them up and check out their website. And I know they ship to all locations, so I know a lot of people get things done at other locations and they get the material and the products from Roadmaster. Thanks again for rambling with us.